already know that this channel wants to help you build knowledge and skills to manifest abundant health, wealth, and happiness. Hope y'all doing good. Sorry, I'm typing in a question. Did y'all watch America's Next Top Model documentary? So, yeah, I'm on my lunch break. So, I don't know what I'm gonna get done. It might have to be a part two, but I do got some notes here. I was trying to put in the cards that came out with it because I remember, but as I'm talking, I want to be able to look at them. I should have went on and pulled them out, but we gonna do that real quick because I done already mixed them up, been playing with them, but I remember what they. I remember what they are. I just don't remember. I'm gonna look at them with the order they came in because, baby, the first thing that came out was Spirit, okay? And I pulled these cards like kind of as soon as the episode started. I had pulled these cards. I'm almost through. What did these come out? I don't think these came out. Okay. So the first, I know episode one, which is called On Top. You wanna be on top? Was Spirit. The first card that came out was Spirit, and then Support came out, and then Inspiration had came out. And I'm like, I mean, I just felt like it was so spot on, because everybody, top model was trying to support, um, changing the modeling industry. That was Tyra's whole thing is like, I want to support models. I want to inspire them. I want to change up the modeling industry, right? Um, and I do feel like the spirit card coming out first, spirit was all over this. Like, I tell y'all all the time, I love transformation. I love the underdog. I love seeing how things are built and move and transform, right? So I love how the first card came out, which was spirit. Like, I love that. Said spirit, it was like spirit said, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. And I said, um, so y'all, I got a list of like each episode. So let me get to talking. Let me get to the episode. Tyra and them talked about like this. They're saying this all started around 2020, during the pandemic. I guess people was rewatching, but I always had Hulu. I rewatched this. I didn't rewatch it in the pandemic. I had rewatched it before then. But a lot of people was rewatching the episodes in 2020, and that's she feels like that is when it sparked all of this controversy around America's Next Top Model. Um, so then they start going into, her career and stuff like that, and how she was, being called too thin, not too thin, you too thick, being black, how they didn't make that much money back then. So, they kind of start off with Tyra's career on how America's Next Top Model came into play. That's why I was like, support and inspiration coming popping out was on point, like very much so. America's Next Top Model has good and bad, just like everything. I tell y'all all the time, everything has good and the bad. Okay. Um, Tyra did make a good point though, how the industry didn't want to hire black women, but their sales went up. Like they made even the same amount, or amount of money if it wasn't black people there, or even more when black people was there. So she was like, I don't even understand why they don't even want to hire us. So, they kind of gave Tyra a little backstory or whatever. Then they bring in Mrs. J, and that was the runway coach. It was so good seeing Mr. J. I haven't seen him in a while, but by the time it got to the end, baby, it broke my heart. Like Mrs. J ended up having a stroke, you guys. And two, this documentary was set up in a way that it's like we seen a different I seen a different side of Tyra. And I feel like that was the thing, like people were starting to see a different side of Tyra. Like she's not always just this bubbly, women empowerment kind of thing. Like you did kind of see the darker side of Tyra. But that's how the work, that's how this that industry is. It's like we only want to see the good. We only wanted to see the good in the people back then. But now all the bad is coming out. All the bad is coming out. But yeah, Miss J, the one who did the runway, had a stroke. It was nice seeing him. But he also said, y'all, he ain't seen Tyra. He ain't seen Tyra. Like the other J and the photographer, what is his name? Nigel, they said they seen Mr. J. They sitting there talking like that's why I say y'all. This is a whole other side of Tyra. Mm. But then they also bring on Jay. I feel like they call him Mrs. J, but what did they call him? They didn't call the creative director, the one with the blonde hair, the one who did all the girls photo shoots. Um him. I think I want to call him Mr. J. We're just gonna call him Mr. J, the creative director. He came in with his story, how he grew up and how he met Tara. I think he said he was a makeup artist for Tara. So, he kind of explained how they met each other and how, she said one day she had this idea. She came to him with it and he was like, I love it. Even the same thing with Mrs. J. You know, he was like, I've known Tyra since she was 16. I taught her how to walk. Like I've known her for a really long time. And so she was those were the two first people that she called. Like, I know I want these two people on the show, which is kind of interesting too, because it felt like Mr. J and Mrs. J didn't know each other until they came on the show, but they have been a part of Tyra's life for a really long time. I felt like that was very interesting, but they feel like shoot, Tyra bringing us home. If she get this picked up, they shooting for again how the cards that came out. Um, Support, and inspiration, like it was a good idea. So they kind of talk about what they go into next. I have here down here underdog, but then I have Ebony under there as well. But yeah, they were rooting for the underdog, Um so I keep bring like I said, I keep bringing it back to the cards to support and inspiration because that's what I want. But then Ebony, oh okay. So then they bring on Ebony. Y'all remember Ebony? They start at cycle one, okay? They start the foolish at cycle one. Like the foolish started at cycle one. So with Ebony, okay? Like, so they bring Ebony on. She looks gorgeous. Okay. Shout out to the Ebonies out here in the world. All right. I find it so cool. Like, my name is Ebony. I know y'all can't see me, but y'all seen pictures of me on here. Like, go look at my community tab. My real name is Ebony, and I'm dark skinned like her. And then there was the other crazy thing. Danielle was on here. You remember they tried to close? They wanted to close Danielle's gap, and I got it. So a lot of this hit me like as far as like the beauty standards, you know. And I mean, I've always been told, you're so pretty for a black girl. Like everybody, like people loving your gap. Like it was kind of freaky that way. Like the things they were bringing out was just like, dang, that's me, dang, that's me. Anywho, Ebony was like the first girl up. This is the first girl they kind of like talked about. And they talked about her too in a way of how like diversity, okay? Um, that she was, just that one black girl. Tyra wanted all kinds, like all people, like it didn't have to be just white people. But the networks was like, we only need one diversity, one each, okay? And the rest of them need to be white. So they started talking about the diversity and how the networks only wanted one black, one Hispanic, and they even had to go back to find what was her name? Giselle. I think is her name Giselle? I think so. I think her name is Giselle. But she was the only Hispanic girl on there as well. So they bring her on too, like she's on there actually talking herself um in this part where they're talking about diversity and stuff like that, and how the networks wanted diversity. But yeah, that was that was interesting. They started talking about the makeovers. um and y'all, I Emily said she, if y'all went back and watched, if y'all have seen America's Next Top Model, they cut all of Ebony's hair off. And they're telling her it's high fashion, it's this and that's that. But she was like, it wasn't that I didn't hate the haircut. She was like, they used the wrong clippers. Like, she was like, she had like 5 bald spots. Like, dang. And she's like, how could Tyra do this to me? Like, this, even if you wanted me to have a bald, like a shaved head, it don't even look good. Like, it don't even look that good. So, with them even cutting all her hair off, she kind of felt like, what the hell? But, so they starting to kind of get into the makeovers a little bit. Um, do they start talking about teeth? Well, yeah, they started talking about the makeovers. What else have like? I feel like they were talking about something else important too with the makeovers. Ebony got her hair cut off. No, I don't think they started talking about the teeth yet. But then, sorry, I got Janice written down here. I'm trying to figure out how it went from makeovers. What happened? How it went from makeovers to Janice. Um, it don't matter. They started talking about Janice and how she was like the villain of the show, and they liked her because of her outrageousness and her harsh critiques. And then this was interesting because Janice was giving it to him as the real, right? Like, you're too fat, you're too just the stuff that they're saying. But then Tyra would be on the opposite side, like, but that's what the industry needs. Like, she's still a beautiful girl. Like, this is an amazing picture. She doesn't need to lose any weight. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like Tyra was like, but I'm going against her. Um, Again, how they said, they was like, they're trying to change the industry. So that's why I'm like, it's hard, right? Like, I feel like the documentary was set up like you can choose for yourself, but do you see Tyra as good or bad? Even as it gets the down to more stuff behind the scenes that they shared, it got you side eyeing Tyra. Like, girl, which one was it? It's like maybe she came in with good intentions, but then things change. So I have down here aftermath cycle 1 airing. So they're shooting this first season in a hotel or whatever, and then it airs, and the network's ratings skyrocket. Okay, the ratings skyrocket. People watched and tuned in. Sorry, now I have down here ladies different with how they were portrayed. Ebony and I think her name was Gazelle, where were the two main people talking, and they talked about how their reputation after this aired was really hard. Like, Giselle was talking about how she couldn't get any work because her being on TV, people would call her a wide ass. Like she was like, I couldn't get any modeling gigs because they based everything already on what Tyra then had said. She did say it messed with her. I mean, because the girl was skinny as I don't know what, but they told her, one of her critiques was one time was that she had a wide ass. And she said that always stuck with her and played on her, self esteem. Even Ebony talked about her haircut, how they called her ashy. Um, and she was like, it was weird because I've always been told I had nice skin. That was a thing too that hit me for her. She she made a really good point. They were calling Ebony old, like you look old, and she was like, I was only like 4 years, like she might have been in college. Yeah, well, did she say 4 years at the most? She said I was like 4 years out of college, and they're telling me I was old. Like, it just messed with her, and them just the harsh critiques. But yeah, Ebony and Giselle kind of did most of the talking in that part. Um, I don't know what I've been on here 16 minutes. I'm trying to be on here an hour. Sorry if y'all can hear that beeping. It's my computer. Like I said, I'm just on my lunch break. And I wanted to get this video done, trying to get these hours up. I need to get these hours up. Okay. So cycle one has gone. The girls were talking about their reputations afterwards. Um, why do I have up here perfection is boring? Hold on, maybe I'll. You wanna be on top? Na 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 na. I'm trying to think if I remember anything else. You wanna be on time? Mm, okay. I don't know why I have perfection up here as boring. I don't know if I heard somebody say that and wrote that down. I don't know why I have perfection as boring. I feel like I heard Nigel say it, and I thought that was like, ooh, that was a good affirmation. Perfection is boring. And then at this time, J. Why do I have J switch and ethnicity? No. Why am I switching over here to Kenya? Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about it like this. So a new. Oh no, maybe it don't go like that. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Where are my notes all like? Okay, I don't know why I have J switch ethnicity. No. Well, I feel like it's kind of bringing me to. They talked about Mr. J talked about how he didn't like the episodes where they switched people's ethnicity. He said he didn't like. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Hold on. When they were talking about, I don't know, but Mr. J, I do remember Mr. J saying that they switched ethnicities and he didn't like it. For multiple reasons. I mean, if y'all are calling ebony too dark, but now you're darkening other people's skin and saying that it's beautiful is kind of weird. But again, creativity, you know what I'm saying? Like creativity doesn't necessarily have like I don't know if it I don't it didn't bother me that bad. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say what it is for me. It didn't bother me that bad. I didn't look at them as doing blackface. I actually thought it was kind of interesting to change them because I feel like if you can see the beauty in them, why you can't see the beauty in me? And then but that goes down to like the texture of your hair. Like somebody might be dark, but if you got 4C hair and a big nose, they might not like you. You know what I mean? So, these white ladies were changing their ethnicity and darkening their skin. They still had European features. So that might would have made them beautiful to them. But I thought it was interesting. I didn't then when it was coming on, I never looked at it like that. I thought it was just art, creativity, and I just felt like if you can see the beauty in them, you can see the beauty in me too, you know? But I have an arrow going down to Gluttony Elephant Kenya. Kenya at some point comes the into this. I don't know if y'all remember Kenya. She was also she was just brown, but she was a slim figure girl, model type. She was definitely a model type. But had more of a boyish figure. Like she ain't had no big butt or nothing. She was definitely model type. And oh, you know what? I think they were talking about too, still talking about how they were portrayed on the show and what people thought of them. Okay. Because Kenya was like how she was describing it is like they made me look like this I don't know, not like fat girl, but like okay, let me give you an example. So, um, what challenge was that she had gluttony? Oh, they were set the 70 deadly. They did the 7 deadly sins, and they had to be in a casket, and she had gluttony. Then the next episode, right after that, they were in Africa, and they had to be an animal, and they gave her an elephant. And then one time they had her like they showed her eating in a car like eating a bagel, and she was like they kept how they edited was making it look like I ate 2 or 3 bagels when I only ate one bagel. You know. They also talked about how she had issues with a male model. They talked about that on the episode, and she felt like Tyra didn't protect her. Like, and that's another thing too. Maybe that's the thing they wanted to see. Like, I mean, yes, Tyra said she wanted to change the industry, right, in the beginning, but turned around and it just seemed like she wasn't protecting them enough because Kenya's doing a photo shoot. This guy is obviously trying to holler at her, and doing her photo shoot, she's like the man is grunting and stuff in her ear, and she was like, I thought about like what would Tyra do? Tyra would stop the show, say she feels uncomfortable, um, and she did that. And when she did that, they looked at her like she was crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you stopping the show? You need to keep pushing through. This is real life. Like, and even when she went to panel, Tyra heard about it, of course, and then was telling her what she should do. And Tyra was like, I thought I was, trying to give her advice, but it just didn't go together. You know, it just didn't go together. She should have been like, that male model was wrong, and girl, you should have punched him in the face. But this goes down to too, like even the girls not being able to get jobs afterwards. Tyra wasn't protecting them in that way, either. Their image. But again, Tyra was like, we got a show to run, ratings. Ratings. All right, we're gonna go to two. What was two cards? What cards came out with two? Yeah, my kid's about to come home. I'm gonna do a part two. I'm gonna leave this and then I'm gonna come back with part two. Yeah, we're gonna